people evacuated, but it seems it's more of an orderly fashion, escorted by authorities.
Right, and it's early, so we should point out we have no idea what security might have been like or not have been like at Columbia Mall. Certainly they haven't had anything like this that I can remember in all the years that I've been here. So we don't know gunshot or if he was brought down by security or police. Far too early for that. You haven't heard anything to that effect, right, Sarah?
No, we have not. And in fact, it's still, obviously an active scene here. We have heard, minutes ago that people were at the Starbucks and people with their hands up. So still, this is an active investigation. We still see people with their rifles out behind pillars and behind walls outside of the Sears and near the food court. So, even though the suspected shooter is dead, there is still this active investigation of people methodically coming out and being searched and looked at. So, obviously there's more information to be had here.
And people, as they come out, are they hanging around trying to find out exactly what happened, or are they putting
it's a mixture. There are people who are hanging out in their cars. They're waiting for their loved ones. We saw a mom and their child running to the child's father just to get reunited. Others are walking. Some are running. Some are crying. You have a range of emotions here, for sure. There was the parent I talked about earlier from the H&M store. Her husband is a Howard County police officer. She didn't have her phone with her, and so this police officer frantically trying to get in touch for a good hour or so before she could borrow someone's phone. But then we have a range of reunions, people hanging out, but a lot of them just want to leave the mall property.
Yeah, good information. And but we know how this goes. Saturday morning at the mall, you show up there maybe as a family, but then you go your different ways, depending on what you're looking for. My son lives there in the Columbia area. He tells me that at 11:15 on a Saturday morning, especially with it being so cold outside and limited activities that you can do outside, that mall would have been packed. It's a two-story mall, the Columbia Shopping Center, and it's the hub of Columbia, Maryland, which is one of those planned communities halfway between, D.C. and Baltimore. Most of us know it well. It's an ideal place to live, I should say, according to the people who are there. So, Ray, anything else you can add before we break away? We'll come back, obviously, as you get more information.
Right, we're just hanging out, waiting for this press conference, and we'll provide more information as we get it. And we also want to provide some of these really interesting interviews that we got a hold of with some of these shoppers and people who work at the mall.
Yeah, before we let you go, what about traffic outside of the mall? They're obviously asking people to stay away from Columbia Mall, Little Patuxent Parkway. But what about the roads surrounding the mall? Are they diverting traffic away, or are they allowing people to come and go?
Well, no one is allowed to come into the parking lot onto the mall property. It seemed when we got here, we were able to get through, but since this is such a big mall, there are a lot of streets coming into and toward the mall, so you can see all the police. But we didn't have too much trouble and too much traffic getting here as far as 2 hours ago. So I assume that's pretty much the same.
Looks like it's
Okay, well, I think our viewers, we're awaiting a press conference from Howard County and probably other police officials at this point to bring us up to date on what has happened, specific details, confirmations, that sort of thing. We've got 3 confirmed dead inside the Columbia Mall. This began at 11:15 this morning in the food court outside the Sears store at Columbia Mall. 3 confirmed dead, no identities at this point. One of those dead believed to be the shooter, and police come to that conclusion because a body was found near gun and ammunition. Everyone in the mall had been ordered to shelter in place. They later changed that to say that they would be escorting people out in a safe and orderly fashion from the mall. And as you just heard Saray Chin report, that is indeed happening. People obviously very shaken, very upset. We just saw a shot of what we believe are bullet holes. People did hear these gunshots, and apparently from the history that we now have in this country, they immediately knew that there was something going on, there was danger. The word spread that shots had been fired, that there was a gunman on the loose in the mall. So people did take shelter, whether they got word or not. They apparently knew what to do. And we're talking families in some instances inside Columbia Mall. No shots since 11:15. Police say they are convinced the mall is safe at this point. two injuries. Just got from Jay Michigan, our executive producer. We had two people injured, not related to the gunshot. So we don't know if they were injured trying to get out of the mall, trying to run for cover, whatever. We have two people injured who were transported to hospitals. No word on their condition, how serious these injuries might be at this point. Again, we're waiting on the Howard County Police at a press conference. Police have declared that the mall, they believe, is safe at this point. They're asking people to remain in place until they can get everybody out in a safe and orderly fashion. No motive in this shooting. Don't know what prompted it. We won't even begin to guess, speculate, and they have no identities on the three people who were killed. Saray, anything?
For now, we're